sit on a 2-2 pitch after 2 outs in the seventh.
Beautiful basketball, but it's Toronto.
The following is a special live presentation of Empire Sports Network.
Coming up on Fan TV, the Bills survive a giant upset as Steve Christie drills the overtime field goal for the victory. And in college football, it'll be an orange weekend at Syracuse as the Tar Heels of North Carolina come calling. This and a lot more on Fan TV.
And good afternoon, I'm Howard Simon.
And I'm Jim Brunson.
And this is Fan TV. Thanks for joining us. Lots to talk about today. Jim just talked about what's front and center here in Western New York. The Bills sneaking back and beating the Giants last night in New Jersey. John Butler, the Bills general manager, will be with us momentarily from Rich Stadium. Also on our show tonight, here in studio, Sabres head coach Ted Nolan. They're getting set for training camp. Brian Graham, the Bison's manager, they're getting set for the American Association East playoffs. And Jim mentioned it, Syracuse football. Steve Hyder from WSYR Radio will be with us. Ed Kilgore from WGRZ TV Channel 2 in Buffalo. And Brad May from the Buffalo Sabres. So a big menu tonight. Of course, Fan Forum as well with Bob Kaczynski at Rich Stadium at 5:30. And also the Marv Levy Show coming up tonight at 8 o'clock.
All of that right here on Empire Sports.
Such a deal.
Amazing stuff. All right, it is indeed Fan TV, and we're not going to wait any longer. We're going to get right to the heart of the action, and that concerns what happened last night. Well, it was a game within a game. For an example, Bills down by 17 points, and then all of a sudden they decide to start playing in the contest. And at that particular point, they finally got the offense rolling, and it was a situation where Buffalo finally went on to win the contest. The final score, 23-20 over the Giants in overtime.
And I think somewhere around, 11:30 last night, all of us did a collective
yes.
And I think one guy who did that is with us right now at Rich Stadium, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, John Butler. John, thanks for coming on with us here on Fan TV. I guess it doesn't matter. You don't give out style points in the NFL. You just got to get the win, right?
That's exactly right, Howard. We went to a very tough environment last night against a very fired-up football team. Didn't execute too well the first half, but we got the win and came home with that. That's the most important thing.
Hey, John, I'm just curious about that first half. You know, a lot of talk about Super Bowl hype for this team throughout training camp in the preseason. Did the Bills get caught up in the Super Bowl hype, and was it a wake-up call thing where all of a sudden they realized, okay, we got to come and play this game?
I don't think we got caught up in the hype at all, Howard. I look at it as a situation. You go into a team that's, as everybody says, it's not a very good football team. That's a very dangerous situation. The Giants are better than a lot of people give them credit for. You go on the road, you play at night. It's your first game to really together, your first offensive unit, to spend a whole lot of time. You may not be totally cohesive yet, but as a situation for us, we found out we got a lot of work to do, but I don't think it had anything to do with Super Bowl hype. This team's a veteran team, and they know it takes one game at a time.
1-800-388-7897 to talk to Bills general manager John Butler. Injuries, John, a couple of big names last night. Ruben Brown and Steve Tasker both going down in the game. What's the latest on them?
Latest that we heard this afternoon, Howard, Steve, it looks like it's the most serious, no doubt about it. It could be anywhere from a 4 to 8 week period of time on Steve's foot. And Ruben Brown, they're saying 1 to 2 weeks on that. So those are tough breaks for us right in the first ball game. But hopefully we'll have both of them back before too much longer.
As we see, Ted Washington had a sore ankle and the injuries of Brantley and Armour carried over. John, about Tasker, what do you do now? Is Eric Moulds now your third receiver? And what do you do with punt returns with Steve going down?
Well, right now, Eric Moulds is going to have to step up. Russell Copeland's going to have to step up. If Brantley's ready to go, he's going to be an important part of it. And right now, with Steve going down to punt return, I'm sure those duties will go to Russell Copeland. A lot of people forget a couple years ago, Russell handled punt returns for us. He has the ability to catch the ball well. He did have a drop last night. It was tough for him. He wasn't prepared probably to be the punt returner last night. But when he gets all the reps in practice right now, we got all the confidence in the world in him.
John, in the first half of play, the offense basically non-existent. So consequently, how did you get things righted just before the first half ended to get the 7 points on the board?
Well, there were some situations where we had a tough time picking up the blitz last night. And a lot of times people say, well, it's the offensive line. It's not always the offensive line. It may be alignment. It may be side adjustment we didn't get and take care of. But as time went on, we went to a double tight situation, which reduced some of that. We started picking things up better. You know, when you play a lot of blitzing like that, you're trying to take away a lot of the underneath game. And what happened last night, we missed a couple long, deep balls to Quinn, Russell, and Andres I know about. There could have easily been 6 points there. So we finally got things together. Things started working for us quite well. Our team, with that great character, never gave up, came right out, didn't get flustered, and got the things done.
Okay, we're talking with John Butler. He, of course, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills. 1-800-388-7897 if you'd like to jump on with us here at Fan TV. We're going to put a graphic up on the screen right now, John, and this is an offensive graphic. And what it basically is going to tell everybody watching this particular program is how the game broke down offensively. For an example, as they take a look at it right here, the net yards, 410 to 231. That's an unbelievable percentage, and yet you still only win by 3 points.
Yeah, a lot of times the tail of the story, really not in those statistics at all times. The thing that really jumps out at me, though, is what we did defensive-wise in that second half. I believe they had 9 possessions the second half, and 6 of them our defense held them to 3 and out, really when we needed that to come through. So the real telling part of it was on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive-wise, yes, we did roll up some big numbers, but didn't put it on the scoreboard. There's other games you're not going to see big numbers, but big scores. Statistics don't always tell the story.